I'm not threatening you. Say one more word, and that's 30 days. 30 days.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame with your boy TP. Today, we are courtroom hopping into the courtroom of Magistrate William Burton Jr. out of the state of Michigan. Now, just to give you a warning, this is a very sensitive case. One very hard to listen to. The sovereign citizen that he has before him by the name of Kevin Pollard has been accused of some serious charges. So I wanted to forewarn you before we get into this case. Also, we're going to have a special appearance by Magistrate Laura Achardatea, who is also in the same district as Magistrate William Burton Jr. But yeah, I just wanted to warn you guys because definitely this is going to be one of those cases that is going to get some of you guys going, get your blood boiling, and all types of stuff. And also, before we jump into this proceeding, before I forget, I now have a way for you guys to support. I know some of you guys have been wondering how you can support the channel, but if you look in the corner, you can see a QR code from Buy Me a Coffee. And Buy Me a Coffee is basically a website that allows you to support the channel. And yes, I am a coffee drinker, but obviously this goes far beyond coffee. It gives you an opportunity to support the channel and some of the work that lies ahead. With that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into this proceeding.
What's his name?
The beneficiary.
Yeah, first name is the beneficiary.
Are you stating that the trust that we are administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust? If so,
I'm asking you what your name is.
my name is the beneficiary of the trust.
Of whose trust?
Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust, Your Honor?
Okay, I'm
If so,
gonna recall him. Bring up somebody else. Put him aside.
Thank you,
We'll call him at the end.
Thank you, Judge.
Sir, is your name the beneficiary Kevin Teron Anthony Pollard? Yes or no?
I'm the beneficiary of the trust, Your Honor. Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust?
Are you Kevin Pollard? I'm asking you.
Is the trust that we are now administrating?
Sir, I ask the questions here. You give me yes or no answers.
You're asking for my permission
I ask the questions. You give the answers. Is that clear?
It's very clear.
Okay, listen.
Yes.
Are you also known by the name of Kevin Pollard amongst other names? Yes or no?
Are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard Trust, Your Honor? If so, Kevin Pollard is in fact present today. It is you that is Kevin Pollard, Your Honor. It is you.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor. It is you. That
Really?
is Kevin Pollard. Yes, Your Honor.
Kevin Pollard.
You are Kevin Pollard today, Your Honor. I am the beneficiary.
And then who are you?
I am the beneficiary of the trust.
Okay, well, Mr. Beneficiary, take you and your trust back to jail.
I have some questions for the clerk, Your Honor.
No.
I have. Can I speak to the clerk before we go any further?
You know what? I'm gonna put you in timeout. Get your mind right. Mr. Pollard?
Yes, sir. Can I have the clerk present? Please, Your Honor.
Don't get banned.
Please have the clerk present in a Zoom meeting.
You know what? If you answer my questions, I'll consider it.
Okay. What's the question?
What's your name?
The beneficiary.
All right, Mr. Beneficiary, put you back in timeout. All right, beneficiary. I'm going to give you another chance in front of another magistrate.
That's no problem. Can I have the clerk present, please?
Hey, sir, I'm Magistrate Achardatea. DDC.
Excuse me? Yeah.
I'm talking to the DDC officer.
Yes.
DDC?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The gentleman that is in front of the screen, in front of camera one, what name do you have him listed as?
Kevin Pollard.
Do you have a middle name?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you have a Kevin Pollard. Okay, and sir, you're identified as Kevin Pollard, but you're considering yourself the beneficiary. Is that correct, sir?
Are we on the record?
We are. Everything is on the record.
Okay, are you stating that the trust that we are now administrating is the Kevin Pollard trust, ma'am?
I'm not administrating any trust because there is no trust in front of me. But what I'm asking you is, you call yourself the beneficiary. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no problem. I have case number is 240-5538101. People of the state of Michigan versus Kevin Theron Anthony Pollard, who is listed by DDC as Kevin Pollard. However, the gentleman has identified himself as the beneficiary.
You representing as Kevin Pollard today, Your Honor.
Mr. Pollard,
I'm not.
Mr. Pollard, now, as your counsel, I am going to advise that you stop speaking and allow the judge to speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel Kirkland.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Shava Kirkland on behalf of Mr. Pollard, who has been advised of his rights, which is to stand mute and waive the formal reading.
Thank you. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. February 2nd, 2024. It is a probable cause conference, followed by preliminary examination, February 8th, 1:30 p.m. Both matters are in front of Judge King. Probable cause conference, it is at 8:30 in the morning. Mr. Beneficiary, Mr. Beneficiary, you should not talk over to the court. I thank you very much.
You are under oath and you are on record. And I'm asking you,
beneficiary, I have not sworn you under oath. I am under oath, so I am doing all this. I'm going to enter plea of not guilty. I already given the court dates while this case is pending, sir. Okay, there should be no contact with the individual.
You are not allowed to state what the judgment is. That is my job.
Mr. Pollard, I do want to let you know that the person.
Okay.
I have a question for the clerk.
Okay.
I have a question for the clerk. I have a question for the clerk.
You will give an opportunity, sir. You will give an opportunity. Let me finish. While this case is pending, there's no contact with that means no person contact, no contact with third parties, no phone calls, no emails, no text messaging. The people, go ahead, Esteban.
Yeah, the people are asking for $250,000 cash bond, no cash, no surety. If he's able to ever post bond, we'd like GPS tether with home arrest. The defendant, Your Honor, has a continuing situation where he entices young girls on the internet from Arizona in this particular case, and previously on 10/23/2023 in another case where he enticed people. He's been arrested 3 different times for criminal sexual conduct. The first case, he was found not guilty back on 5/15/2015. The 10/21/2023 case, where he was criminal sexual conduct first degree and also contributing alcohol to a minor, 2 counts of that, was at the exam dismissed without prejudice. My belief in all that is because these victims all live out of state. In our particular case we have here today, Your Honor, the victim is from Arizona. She came here after having a relationship, not the victim, but one of the witnesses came here after having a 3-year relationship with this defendant on the internet. When she turned 18, she came to visit. And also Mr. Pollard introduced her to another girl who is also from Arizona. The other girl brought her niece or her, I forgot who, the relationship, but her 7-year-old niece with her to visit Mr. Pollard. And what happened then, because the person was tired from traveling, she fell asleep in the living room. When she woke up, she went into the bedroom, and there was Mr. Pollard with the 7-year-old girl. He then said, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Well, we're playing video games." So the woman, the adult in the room, she falls asleep again. And then she is awakened by the 7-year-old girl and asked to leave. The 7-year-old girl then tells her mother that Mr. Pollard touched her, rubbed her he says. Okay? He said, you know, accidentally is what he's trying to tell us what happened. Kenner, the situation is she's told the 7-year-old child has told TED Talk that he did this. He's told Protective Services that he did this. And as far as I'm concerned, Judge, he fits the category of a predator because he did the same thing in the 1023-2023 case of enticing young people from other parts of the country, perhaps, I don't know where exactly, to come and see him on the internet. So we're asking for $250,000 cash bond, no surety, and GPS tether if he's ever be able to post bond, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. One question, Council Ragnan.
Yes.
Does he have any pending cases?
Not that I know of, Your Honor. The 1021-2023 case has been dismissed without prejudice at the exam, and I couldn't find out it was because the witness was, if the witness was out of town or what the problem was. But
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Council Kirkland, go ahead, Esteban, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask this court, understanding the seriousness of these charges, for a 10% bond if this court is not inclined to do a high personal bond. So one, I know the bulk of Brother Counsel's argument was this dismissed case from last year. I'd ask that this court sentence him based on these allegations and the facts and details surrounding this case. This is a 2020 case. And the woman that he met was 20 years old, or that came to see him was a 20-year-old woman, was not an underage woman. And the allegation is that she brought her, I believe, goddaughter to the home. Now, there are different variations because a couple different stories are told as to what occurred there. But Mr. Pollard has maintained that he didn't actually assault the little girl. I'm not sure why this case wasn't charged until 2024, but it is a 4-year-old case. My understanding is that he, I don't believe he's had any convictions since then. He is a lifelong resident, has a child, so he has strong ties to the community. He also owns a lawn service here. At this point, there's no amount of bond that he can't afford to pay, so even a 10% bond would be unaffordable for him. But given the age of this case and his lack of issues since this, I'd ask this court consider a high personal bond, if not that, a 10% bond.
Thank you. I've heard the representations from both sides in this particular matter in reference to the beneficiary who is listed by the court or by DDC as Kevin Pollard, is that in this particular matter, even though this is from 2020, okay, there was a forensic interview, Kids Talk, with the victim, and she disclosed that she was touched by the defendant and that he rubbed her with his hand. This court is not considering the other cases that were dismissed without prejudice. Okay, this court is only going with this matter. In reference to this gentleman, the defendant, bond is going to be $250,000 cash. There's going to be a GPS tether, home arrest. Further, okay, it's going to be unaffordable. So today is Friday. He's going to get another court date. Today is the 26th, January 29th. 2024, 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConigal, who's going to be looking at the bond amount and bond conditions. Also, there is one other thing. This court looks at clear and convincing evidence standard, okay, based on the representation, based on the reading. This court is convinced that Mr. Pollard, okay, I'm sorry, the beneficiary, okay, that he is a predator in this particular matter. That's why we're putting at $250,000 cash, GPS tether, house arrest. He does have the unaffordable bond redetermination for this Monday, January 29, 2024, 9 o'clock in front of Judge McConigal. Also, there's another bond condition. He's not to be around any minor children. That concludes the arraignment of the beneficiary, also known as Kevin Pollard. Madam Clerk.
Pre-trial, Your Honor.
No, I was
Talk to the gentleman that's in front of the screen.
Judge.
Okay. Just so for the record, is that the clerk has declined to talk to the gentleman in front of the screen.
No, that is not fair.
Thank you.
That is not fair. You cannot do this. Under oath and on record, you cannot do this. I have rights, and you violated them, and you was not my judge.
Okay, you can go. Go ahead and do whatever.
You cannot do that.
Okay.
As the beneficiary, I asked the
I'm sorry.
Can we have those dates again? We couldn't hear them.
Over the dates.
February 2nd, February 8th.
February 2nd, February 8th. Body determination Monday.
Administrator of this QV trust account that she are.
Huh? What you say?
Well, guys, we've come to the end of this proceeding. And as we can see, like I told you early on, definitely very sensitive case, one that definitely upsets you, especially if you have children and whether you don't have children, right? Like a grown man trying to mess with a little girl is always a no-no, and vice versa. A grown woman trying to mess with a little boy or a younger man, underage man, or whatever have you, is a no-no. But as we can see, as soon as this proceeding started, Magistrate Burton had a lot of trouble out of Mr. Pollard to the point of where he had to shut him down 3 times and then allow Magistrate Laura to jump in, which I thought was interesting because I've covered many of Magistrate Burton's cases dealing with sovereign citizens, and I've seen him handle his business and shut them down. But for whatever reason, he allows her to get in. I don't know if she was in the background listening and was like, let me at him. I don't know what happened, because you can hear vaguely somebody talking here and there in the background. But nonetheless, she did come in, handle her business, gave him a $250,000 cash bond, which seems fitting for somebody that's being accused of those type of charges. And not only that, it seems like it seems like he's Mr. Pollard's been, not only charged with these things before, but it seems to kind of be like a behavior for him. So, he sounds like he could definitely be very dangerous. I don't think you can be alleged of doing those things that many times and there's no type of truth there. But anyway, I don't understand how these young ladies are flying across the country to come and see this guy, with kids with him. I get it. Sometimes it may be hard to find a mate out there, a date, so we have all these dating apps, we have social media, but to fly from point A to point B across the country, and it sounds like they were pretty far away, that can be a very dangerous thing. But as we can see in the beginning, it seems like he was stressing his attorney out a little bit. But as the case goes on, I mean, she's giggling and in the background and kind of laughing and trying to cover up her smile. So, it was low key. The stuff he was doing, it kind of turned it into a circus a little bit. But these are serious charges, and it is really nothing to laugh about. But with that being said, we will continue to cover this case and make sure we bring you the case to the conclusion so we can all find out what happens with this case. And until then, guys, this is Sovereign Citizens Hall of Fame. And for now, guys, Sovereign Citizens Court is adjourned. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the support through Buy Me a Coffee. Like, share, and subscribe. It is much appreciated. Thank you, guys. And until the next time, God bless.